So here's the game plan. I've got, this is 2 pounds of ground beef. Lean, probably about 90. I'm gonna fry it with 2 red onions. They're nice sweet aroma, not a super pungent aroma. Alright, so since the red onion's not nearly as strong as others, it's a pretty well minced up pile. I'm gonna spoon of these minced garlic with a little juice. Alright, so I'm going to add just a single teaspoon to my hamburger and 2 small red onions. So there we have onions, tablespoon of garlic, teaspoon of cumin, 2 pounds of hamburger. Now this is going to be tricky because I've got this mix of hot, dried pepper. Okay, so not that hot. I had one of the peppers, left a little heat on my tongue, but not too bad. I'm not struggling at all. So it's about what I'm going to add to the 2 pounds of ham. Alright, so what I've got here is a mixture of some banana peppers and a green pepper. That's what you're seeing there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 2/3 of that. What I want to do is beyond the cumin, onion, garlic, and hot pepper, I want to add a little bit of so I should have taken a movie of it. I have some pork chops I diced up and cooked. I'm adding it to my already browned hamburger. I just fried that up with some onions. I haven't added any peppers or anything to it because the hot peppers I added to the ground beef mix really heated up that ground beef, so I'm going to hold off on some of the hot pepper. Now I'm chopping up some red and green peppers. Some I grew in my garden, one that rather didn't want from Costco. Maybe about 3 of those big bad boys going in there when I'm done. Okay, so now I'm going to get it moist. We start by putting in ketchup. This recipe calls for just about all of this and some tomato sauce. So what I'm going to try to do is I'll use this and probably 1 can of tomato soup because I'm going to add my own tomatoes as well. Now I'm going to put in some tomatoes. It's the equivalent of several tomatoes, diced and frozen. I forgot to thaw them, so I'm just going to go ahead and put them right in there and they'll thaw as we go. Alright, so the recipe I'm using calls for 2 cans of pintos, 2 cans of black beans for every 2 pounds of meat. I'm at about a little over 3 pounds of meat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 cans of pintos, a can of black. I wish I had another can of black, and just going to introduce 1 can of the chili beans. For now, if it looks like it's a little light on beans, I might add some kidney beans. I got a bunch of kidney beans. Okay, the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. I've put 1 in when I fried up the meat, you'll recall. So now I'm going to add some balsamic vinegar to give it a little tang, but I didn't have any. So what I'm going to do is use this vinaigrette, which is heavily doused in balsamic. So I'm hoping that'll give it a nice tang. To help out with that tang just a little bit, I'm going with the Apothic red wine. Calls for about 3/4 cup. Well, actually, for my recipe, it would be a 1.5 cups. So 1.5 cups going into. Okay, since I've already got a lot of hot chili peppers in there, I'm going to use just regular chili powder, and that's all I have of that. Then I'm going to use this to make it up. I need to go just about a 1/2 cup of chili. I had already put in a teaspoon of this, so I only put 2 more teaspoons of ground cumin. But then I did 3 cinnamon and 3 paprika. Alright, last thing I'm going to do is brown sugar. Just a little short of a 1/2 cup. Okay, last thing I did was add 1 can of tomato soup just to give it enough fluidity. So there it is. It's going to be on low heat here for as long as I can possibly cook it. Alright. Okay, so I did the cook down and it was good. Sweet and tangy like I wanted. Not as hot as I'd hoped. So you saw the peppers I put in with the ground beef. Cook, I had put another fresh jalapeno in there, a large jalapeno. I just put another one in. You had seen I put in a frozen bundle of about a pound of tomatoes. I put another one in at the end of the cook down. So what I'm going to do is I've added this other jalapeno that you see on top and those tomatoes. I'm going to now salt and season to taste. I didn't add a lot of salty stuff in here. It could use a little salt, so I'm going to go ahead and heat it up one more time, then cool it down, and then take it to freeze.